Okay, 10.3, we're talking about log properties, so we're just rearranging log equations. You're going to be taking things that have like one log and making them multiple logs, so that's called expanding. So if it says to expand, all of these properties, you're going to be moving from the left side to the right side, adding logs. So notice here, like we have more logs on the right side. If you are asked to condense something, then you're moving from the right to the left, and you're trying to get down to one log term. So with all of these, like here, multiplying can become adding as long as you add an extra log. They just have to have the same base. Like if this is all base of 7, that's the only way you can do it. If one of those is a different base, you can't do it. Division becomes multiplying. Exponents move the number in front. This one here, if you have the same number here, like log of 2, you can make the log go away. But I also want you to write down, if there's not a fraction, if it's just x to the a, even if it's a number, it's just going to be a. The log goes away. And then anything to the 1 becomes 0. This change of base formula, we're going to talk about it more when we do 10.4, so don't worry about it for tonight. Okay, so this one here, I forgot to say, this one is condensing. So that means we're going to take this info and try and move it so that things on the right side become things on the left for condensing. So the first thing I would do is take a look. This 6 and the 18, we have to get those to move first, so we're going to move them as exponents. So log 7, 2 to the 6, plus log 7, 3 to the 18. Now we have two logs that have the same bases adding. So we're actually going to take those, and remember adding, if you look at this first one, adding becomes multiplying. So log 7, 2 to the 6 times 3 to the 18. You're not multiplying two logs together, you're multiplying the pieces inside. And don't worry about multiplying with your calculator, that's all I want to see. So that's it. Pretty easy stuff. When we have these ones, I forgot to write, this is expanding. So look at the left side and you're moving to the right. So the first thing here is I look, okay, between those two parentheses there's a division, which means I want to make this become subtracting. Keep the base on both those logs. So if you notice here, I used this rule right here, where division becomes subtracting. Once I have that, my exponents can move down. So that 2 moves in front. If there's anything in front already, they multiply. And that's it. So whether they're letters or numbers, you do the exact same stuff. Okay, the last one here, this pops up at the end of your homework. When you're given these pieces of information, log 2, log 3, log 10, we have to make this number become something 2, something 3, something 10. So there's a couple ways to do it. You can notice, like, oh, maybe you see 36 is actually 6 times 6. And 6 times 6 is really 2 times 3, and 2 times 3. If you see all that, multiplying, now that we have 2's and 3's in there, no extra numbers, we can start expanding it. So log 2 plus log 3 plus log n 2, plus log n 3. And we have numbers for those. Log n 2 is all 0.301. Log n 3 we were given is 0.477, so I'm getting those numbers from up here. And those repeat. When you plug that in your calculator, you should get 1.556. And try not to round in this section too much. You could have also started and said, okay, I see that 36 is just 6 squared. So same thing, 6 squared is 36. I can make that log n of 2 in front with the 6. And then I can again split it up as log n of 2 times 3. And remember, anything multiplied can be added, but keep the same number here in front of both of these when you split it up. It has to take the number in front. We know log n2, 0.301, and we know log n3. And doing the same math as before, you should end up with the same number. So there's 2 different ways of doing it. I like the exponent way because it saves me some writing, but it's up to you, whichever one you like. Some other things that pop up in the homework. When you see a radical, like maybe it's radical 5 with something inside, you can always make that an exponent. It just has to be a fraction. So that exponent right there becomes that fraction. And the radical goes away. Another thing that pops up is if you have something like log of 2 over 3, you can always make that a 1/3, so you can multiply it instead. That way you have log 2 of a fraction rather than trying to figure out what to do with that division. I think those are the 2 things that pop up that are tricky. So if you have other questions in that, let me know.